Big news out of Auburn this week as we find out JaTarvious Whitlow will be transferring out of Auburn. He was Auburn's leading returning rusher from last season. Joining us here to talk about this, Matt Zenitz, who broke the news for us at AL.com. Matt, when we talk about why Whitlow made the decision to leave Auburn to continue his career elsewhere, is this a decision that has to do with playing time or football-related things, or is there something else going on here?
Yeah, it seems like there was more going on. It's not just simply a decision that Booby made because Booby was looking for more of an opportunity, more playing time or something along those lines. It seems like from what I've heard and what I've gathered during the course of the last couple of days is that there were some behind-the-scenes issues going on there that contributed to this being the outcome of that situation. And I've heard different things related to those behind-the-scenes issues, but not really comfortable throwing all of that out there. But there were some things going on that it seems like contributed to this happening, which is obviously Auburn losing its leading rusher from the last couple seasons.
Yeah, so obviously a big gap to fill with Booby leaving, and Auburn has a new offensive coordinator coming in next year, so they'll be trying to establish what this offense looks like while trying to figure out who is going to be that featured back for them. When you look at the options that they do have coming back next year, where do you think Auburn looks first in terms of finding that production that they were getting out of Whitlow when he was healthy?
Yeah. Well, Auburn's fortunate. You have some talented guys coming back, most notably DJ Williams, who I'm a fan of. I like DJ, and from everything I've heard, DJ would have been playing a more prominent role early last season, if not for getting set back by injuries, and obviously did some good things throughout the course of the year once he did get an opportunity. So you're fortunate to have somebody like that coming back. You have some other guys to go along with that, and then you bring in Tank Bigsby, who's a top 40 recruit, one of the top-ranked running backs for this recruiting cycle in this year's recruiting class. And even if Booby was on the roster, that kid is talented enough that he would have been a factor in the competition for playing time. So you mix him in now with guys like DJ Williams, and you're still in a decent spot running back-wise, even losing Booby. The big question now, though, just becomes lack of experience that you have at that spot, even though there are some talented guys.
When we look at just overall offensively, from what we've seen out of Chad Morris, both in his time at Arkansas and before as an offensive coordinator, what in general, like philosophically, how important is it to have a consistent running game, and particularly maybe somebody with a more physical running style like Booby Whitlow had?
So this is more specific to Gus than it is with Chad. But if you look at the Gus offenses that have been successful, what have they typically had? They've had a consistent running game.
Absolutely.
So once again, they have talented guys. And I'm very curious to see what Tank Bigsby can do coming in. I think he ended up as like the fourth ranked running back in this recruiting cycle. But consistency with that running game is going to be very important. And like I said, all of the Gus offenses that have been successful, it started with a consistent running game for the most part, unless you just have Cam Newton back there at quarterback.
Always helps.
Yeah.
All right, well, you can learn more about Bigsby and Auburn's entire recruiting class over at AL.com/AuburnFootball.